This episode of Bourbon on Ice, presented by your friend Frosty and your bartender Mike Whiskey, is brought to you by the Cape Media Center of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the Cape Media Center. Listener discretion is advised. What you got there?
Steak and beans.
And we're stuck in a podcasting booth together?
I see no issue.
Oh gosh, let me open the windows.
Roll the music.
Coming up on this episode of Bourbon on Ice, prepare to be shocked and horrified.
Wait, didn't we do that last episode?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We read your answers with another round of Whiskey Asks. But first, your friend Frosty spins a terrifying and very weird tale.
And I'm your friend Frosty.
And I'm your bartender, Mike Whiskey. Stay tuned.
Common-centered. So much things I need to work. Oh, hi. This is Bourbon on Ice, where we talk everything nerdy, like gentlemen.
I love that tagline. Our artist created that for us, and we both just fell in love with it.
It's really great. We love it. J-Rod, dude, you are amazing. He is available on Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook. His work is outstanding, and I will be posting the link to our social media sites again because, he's really great.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to another fantabulous... Nah, I don't say
Don't
words.
lie.
I don't say words like that.
Don't lie.
I never say words like that.
We're going to have lots to talk about words later.
Yes, we are. Okay, so welcome to this episode. How you doing, everyone?
It's an episode, all right.
I know that last week we took a deep dive into the leather community, and I just want to give a quick shout out because IML has just happened. International Mr. Leather has happened in Chicago. It's over. And I want to shout out to every single one of my friends that was there that made it into the top 20, that made it into the top 3, everyone that had the guts to compete. And I will note from the footage and the millions upon photos that I'm still wading through, there was less of a turnout. I'm attributing that to some COVID restrictions and whatnot.
Probably.
I mean, I did notice, it wasn't as tightly packed and things like that. But and there was masks here and there. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who went. You guys are amazing. And to Duke, Michael, Roberto, Kenzo, and definitely Ulysses, who are all heading home. You guys are so huggably squeezable. Yes, I'm going to just say that.
Alrighty.
I'm going to leave that there. I don't care what the straight...
You've left me in the dark for like a week now about what this weird and horrifying tale is.
Okay. You want to hear about a weird and horrifying tale?
Wait, that's what you promised in our title.
All right. You want to hear about a weird and horrifying tale?
I think I would.
Well, I'm not going to tell you yet because I have to address one other thing.
Man.
Yes. It is time for another session of Whiskey Asks.
Oh, I thought we were doing this later in this.
No, we're doing it now.
We're doing it now. Okay,
now.
we're doing it now. All right. This time on Whiskey Asks, I asked all of you, what word or phrase do you wish people would say more often? Our first answer comes from @the_DJ_Ponysean off of Twitter. She answers, what people say to me all the time. What? I thought you were 16. You can't be 29. I think she's a little confused, but she got the spirit.
I was gonna say, I think they got that one backwards.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's nice, but
it's a very nice compliment.
But you wish people would say that to you more.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I hate going into bars and still being carded. I am in my mid-30s and everyone's, oh, it's a compliment. It's like, no, it's frustrating. I have white hairs now, mostly from stress. But come on, do I still need that thing?
If you get the rockin' beard, I had a friend, right? He was 16 with a full, massive beard.
So jealous.
And he would go to bars and he would just not be carded.
Every one of my friends back in high school grew beards before I'm still growing mine. It took me to my 30s to finally get a beard, and it's People are like, oh, you should really shave that chin stubble. No, I will not. All right, what else do we got?
Alrighty, Bobby from Cape Cod answers spiffy. I agree. We should say spiffy more often.
Spiffy. Things are spiffy. We're certainly looking spiffy here today.
Spiffy whiffy. Indeed. Indubitably.
Absolutely. Corking.
Capital.
Top hole.
Kirk from Marston's Mills answers, thank you would be nice.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah. We all need a little bit more politeness and general decency in the world right now.
Oh, yeah. And I was expecting weird things, but that's like a real... That goes to your soul.
Yeah. Larry Voyer answers, give it to me. Nice.
I suppose that depends on context.
It really does.
I mean, you could be in a store, you picked up, I don't know, the last canned ham, turn around, someone's like, give it to me. Well, they have said it more.
Yeah. All right, Karen. Bob from Plymouth answers, groovy. And this is another one I've got to agree with. This is groovy. It's groovy, baby.
Oh, what is your recent obsession with that horrible movie?
The fact that it was horrible. It's great.
I was banned from seeing that as a child.
Likewise.
Doesn't it have an R rating on it?
Yes, it does. And that's mostly because it's just...
raunchy as all hell.
Oh, yeah.
And then there I was on a band trip, and it was playing, and oh, goody, this is the movie. And I was expecting, endless violence and eyes popping out and necks breaking and explosions, and it's just like sex joke after sex joke.
Yep. Mama Whiskey off of Facebook answers Balderdash.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a very good one. She also offered Snolly. What's this one? Snollygoster.
That sounds like the sort of thing that you get stuck in a part of your body, like, oh, what is it? It's a snollygoster.
I actually
get it out.
I actually had to go looking up snollygoster. It is defined as a shrewd, unprincipled person, especially a politician.
That word would really serve a lot of purpose these days.
It would.
It would be overused. That's awesome. Thank you, Mama Whiskey.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
So, Frosty, do you have a word that you wish people would say more?
Boosh.
Boosh.
Yes. Wendy from... I'm a Gravity Falls fan. Sam Mello, giving you a shout out. Wendy from Gravity Falls would say boosh all the time. Like, oh, that's awesome. Let's say that more. And never caught on. Ever.
Nope.
But it's awesome. It's boosh. There we go.
My word is faffing. Well, wait a minute, you say.
Yes, I do say.
Faffing means to be lazy. So if you are faffing about, it just means you're lazing about.
Oh, I was convinced that was a dirty word.
Nope.
I've seen that before. I had no idea.
It's one of those words that people think is dirty, but it's not.
Faffing.
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 What are you doing today? Oh, I'm just faffing about.
Children, get out of the room. Cover your ears. Be away from that horrible man. Yeah, I learned something today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for your answers. We love you all.
Stay tuned for more Whiskey Asks in the future.
This has been a rising success. There's the word.
Yes.
It's been a rousing success. There we go.
Whoa, slow down. At least take me out to dinner first.
Well, yeah. I knew that was coming. I walked right into it.
You did.
Like a wall.
Yep.
Like a bar.
Yep.
Do not say the joke again.
Oh, no. I'll do a different joke. How do you make a blonde go crazy?
I have no idea.
You put her in a circular room and tell her to find the corner.
Ouch. I was blonde. You realize that, right? I had blonde hair. I looked amazing.
When I was, from 0 to, 7 years old, I had towhead blonde hair.
That's adorable. Other photos.
Yes, there are photos.
Are you going to show me them?
At some point.
I'll ask Miggs. I'm sure Miggs will have no qualms about, sticking a knife in your back.
Oh, Miggs had the same thing, too.
Miggs is still blonde.
It's because he dyes it.
When I first, started getting blonde highlights, yes, I was one of those people. It was the 90s, folks. When I started having the blonde highlights, I let my hair grow and it became long and feathery. And then one day, the two little girls that I was babysitting told me that my hair was prettier than theirs. That's when I knew it had to go. All right. So I believe I owe you a mysterious story.
Yes, I think you owe everyone a mysterious and horrifying tale.
All right. Well, do I have anything that I could possibly use to stall any further?
4 and 7 years ago.
Oh, good. Let's do that now. No, forget it. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, this is actually a story within a story. And,
Don't Shahrazad me. Don't do that to me, man.
oh, gosh, no. What is that again?
Shahrazad, Arabian Nights.
Don't you mean Shahrazad?
That too.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. But no, we're still not doing that. I'm not putting off having sex with you because by telling you a story. I'm putting off sex with you because you're straight.
Much appreciated.
I'm sorry, but we have to draw the line somewhere. Professional boundaries.
Talking about telling a story within 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 a story.
So one day I'm sitting at UPS. I used to work there. It was absolute and 100% hell. But it did support me for 6 years. I am going to say that. And I made some long-lasting friends. And I gained a lot of fodder for this radio show podcast. There we go.
Oh, yes.
Every single morning, we would, a small group of us, my work friends, we would all sit together at a table. It was Mike, Chris, Jim. You were there sometimes when you were there.
When I was there.
Donnie and Doyle, and we would all sit at the same table, and we would just, shoot the breeze. And other people would gather around and just wait for that damn bell to ring. Because what time was this in the morning? Oh, yeah, it was like 4 or 3. This was a time when I was having money problems. And once again, I'm just trying to figure out, if maybe I can do something on the side to pick up some extra cash.
Some side hustle.
Very appropriate, considering what I'm about to tell you.
Oh, no.
So one of them says to me, have you ever considered selling drugs? And I said, you know what? I know plenty of drug dealers. I could probably have done that if the option is right there, I'm sure. Probably right up there with, smuggling illegal goods. The option is probably right there. It's just not a good idea.
The FBI is now listening very closely to our conversations.
Oh, good. That means we'll have more viewers.
Exactly.
Listeners. Oh, okay. I keep picking the wrong word here. But then, the issue gets pressed. Like, oh, dude, why wouldn't you do something like that if you can make money? And I said, well, let me tell you a story about why I won't do things like that. And we went back into the past, and I told them that I have a friend. Well, I had a friend. His name was Pete. Pete, I'm just gonna put it out there. He's a bit of a dodgy fellow, sketchy, a little sleazy. But that's kind of why we got along in the first place. He was not that bad of a guy. The way our friendship ended.
Did he try to capture Minnie a few times?
No, he did not. Wrong Pete. Wrong Pete. This Pete, he happened to be an escort.
Oh.
On top of some other things. We would see each other at leather events. We would see each other because he lived all around the Cape. He never had a stable place to hang his hat. He was here. He was there. We hung out sometimes, but he was the sort of person that you would bluntly apologize to people before they opened their mouth, and then after they left, you apologized to them again. One of those.
I know the type.
And after a while, he asked me for a favor because I was complaining to him one day. I need some extra cash. I don't know what to do. I need some extra cash. And I'm giving him a ride, and I said, how's the escorting business? Oh, it's absolutely grand, darling. That's the way he would speak. Grand, darling. And would you ever be interested in it? I said, I'd probably be a very cheap date. I would go for like $250 a pop. He said, really? That little? I'm staring. I'm like, I'm sorry,
Oh, wait
that's a little bit?
Wait a minute. That little.
I didn't realize I was lowballing myself here. I'm sorry. I'm worth at least twice that. Well, the joke was that every once in a while I would, oh, so how's the escorting business? Oh, it's lovely, darling. Things are difficult, but it's looking up here and there. And then one day he asks me to meet him somewhere.
Oh boy.
Yes. And this, I want to point out, we are still being listened to by my coworkers as I'm saying all this. This is where the story gets a little bit interesting.
Alrighty.
The Cape Media Center, located in Dennisport, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is a non-profit community media center and the public access TV station for the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham. Our mission is to build community through media, enhance democratic communication, and facilitate free expression by providing these towns with a state-of-the-art media resource center. Members can become trained in our video and audio equipment and produce their own media content. Membership includes training classes, access to our field equipment, studios and facility, as well as airtime. Podcasters and music producers can share their content on our website. For more information, visit capemedia.org.
I am asked to go meet Pete down by the Hyannis Harbor.
Oh, by the harbor.
By the harbor.
Nothing good ever happens at the harbor, man. Have you ever watched, like, action movies? Or, like...
That was actually going through my head. I'm not gonna lie. This was winter, and we met there in our trench coats.
Oh, snap. This is like a drama.
That's literally what I was thinking. He asked me... Actually, no, I was wrong about this. He asked me to pick him up and then drive him somewhere so we could talk. And he said, I know a place where there's privacy. When he drove all the way down to the Hyannis Harbor, and we are there. And of course, it's the dead of winter. The two of us in our leather gloves and our long trench coats and our hats, him smoking a cigarette. We get out of the car and we, walk a few paces. We're down by the water. There's all the boats are closed up. No one's around.
It's Cape Cod Noir.
I mean, for crying out loud, there should have been, it should have turned like black and white or sepia toned as we're doing this. We're having a talk. He says, I have picked up some escorting gigs, some big ones. I said, wasn't that what you used to do before? He's like, no, I would go and I would see people. But I've been hired to handle some gigs in Boston.
Whoa.
I said, oh, that's interesting. And of course, part of me is instantly, okay, where do I play into this?
Yeah.
Why
are you talking to me about this?
I'm totally flattered, but I think, I should head first into that icy water. But he says, I need a driver. Oh, okay.
That's reasonable.
He wanted me to come with him in a couple of weekends to drive him in Boston at night from gig to gig. And this is me. We're talking about people. I don't like Boston because it's a city. Also because it's not Cape Cod, but also because it's a city.
I don't like Boston either, but I made a promise never to complain about Boston traffic ever again.
Because you were in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Where tiny women with carts full of coconuts pushed you out of the way.
That's not exactly what happened, but yeah.
It's totally what happened, isn't it?
No.
It was pineapples, not coconuts.
La 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 la. Coconut,
You will not sing that horrible song. I still can't believe you put that on your playlist.
Just to mess with everyone.
And you did. We think you're crazy.
That was the point. Anyways.
There I was with this offer being dangled in front of me. $500. Just $500 for a night of driving him around from place to place. And I was freaking broke at this point. The job was just helping me live paycheck to paycheck. $500, I was going to jump through that hoop.
I mean, that's...
For doing nothing but driving a guy around.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Of course, I had to lay down some ground rules. No one gets in my car but you. I don't know what we're doing or where we're going, but nobody gets in my car but you. Second, I don't know if this is a thing you do, but there'll be like, no drugs in my car. Oh, darling, no, of course not. There'll be no drugs whatsoever.
The drugs will be in him.
Again, that was floating over my head. I was like, we're meeting down at the waterfront in our trench coats in the dead of winter. I'm leaving that out there, so.
Yeah.
And finally, I said, you were going to find me places to park. I'm not going to be, like, hiding in some sketchy frickin' alleyway with, the McStabby hobo going nearby and crack whores wandering by, leaning on my car. Hey, sugar, want a good time?
I kind of take umbrage with that. Most hobos are actually fairly nice.
He agreed to these terms. It was at this point that one of the people listening to the story was my buddy Chris. He says, you didn't negotiate for gas? I said, oh, you know what? I didn't. That would have come out of the 500. Not very smart.
No.
Okay, so a week goes by, and I'm dreading this, but the time is approaching. And then, out of nowhere, it's like Wednesday, I get a call. It's Pete. He is gone. He has thrown me overboard. He has decided he is going to take off on his own and cut out the middleman, and he's just going to take care of this himself. He jumped on a bus and went down to Boston, and I called him every filthy name in the book. I called him, well, not everyone. What is that one that Mama Whiskey mentioned?
What now? Oh, the C word.
No.
Oh.
The word she wishes people would say.
Oh, snollygoster.
Yes, I didn't call him a snollygoster because I didn't know that word, and he wasn't a politician, and also no one just arbitrarily rips out that word. Days go by, and I'm just pissed as all hell. The weekend comes and goes. A week passes. Out of nowhere, I get a phone call.
Pete?
Actually, no, because it doesn't say that it's Pete. It's just a number, and I'm one of those people who tends to answer every number because a lot of people have my number, but a lot of them are not in my phone.
It's also a great time to come up with something clever. Marvin's Marvelous Massage, we tickle for a nickel. I killed him, ladies and gentlemen. I killed him.
Rogers roadkill routabout. You kill him, we grill him. Okay. I am put through to a hospital, and then told, "We have a person here who wants to speak to you." I'm okay.
Oh,
Where is this going? It's Pete on the other end of the line, and he says the following: "Darling, I'm in a bit of a jam. I'm in a hospital in Boston." I said, "Why are you in a hospital in Boston?" "Well, things went a bit bad."
Well, you don't say.
I'm going to spare a lot of details for this story because I'm going to spare a lot of details for this story.
I think...
But he basically said that something went wrong and he got the living crap beaten out of him. And I'm just gonna also throw this fact out there. He is a former Marine.
Oh, wow.
He's a former Marine, and he knows how to he combat and all that. I have been in his house. Apparently he was a former cop. He showed me like his gun at one point. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But something happened that was so bad that he got the crap beaten out of him. And of course, then came the question: if he could borrow a little bit of money to get back to Cape Cod. So apparently neither of us got paid that weekend. Now, as I'm telling this story to my friends at the table, waiting for the bell to ring, the whistle to blow at UPS and start the miserable work shift, Chris pokes me and says, "Dude, you realize that you've got a crowd." I look up and literally every worker has gathered around the table to listen to me. And I said, "Good. I want them to hear this." He said, "Well, did you reschedule and try it again?" Well, Mike is the one who asked that. I said, "Mike, I had visions in my head after he said that of of him running out of some sketchy motel room in Boston, carrying his pants, bullets flying overhead, screaming, "Start the car! Start the car!" I had thoughts of my body washing up in Boston Harbor in my car with it. Ever since that moment, I have said every once in a while when my money gets super tight, I'm thinking like, oh, what should I do? And there's the thought, maybe I could do something unseemly. I remember this story. I remember this exact moment in the history of myself and Pete, and I say to everyone, yeah, better not.
Yeah. It's a great story, though.
I want to say this about the absolute love of my life. Robbie, hey.
Hello.
Years ago, he worked in a flower shop in Manhattan. And every once in a while, at least once a month, a very handsome, well-dressed gentleman in a suit would come in. And he would hand him $20 and say, "Hey, Sonny, go down the street and get some bagels." Not to the bagel shop nearby, like down the street. And of course, this was back when $20 was akin to like 1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm
To the
I'm lying a
good
little
bagel
bit.
shop.
Yeah. And of course, help yourself to something while you're down there. And every time Robbie would return to the shop, the handsome gentleman would be gone. He had no idea who the guy was. He didn't know what he was doing there once a month. And of course, he would keep the money. But then
Mafia.
But then one day, he saw in the newspaper that a man had gone missing. And he looked at it and said, "Oh my gosh, that's him. That's the man. Mr. John Gotti." I know. I know. It was just must have had business with the owner of the shop that
Yeah.
Robbie worked at as an assistant, and they literally were getting rid of witnesses to whatever they were doing. Just said, go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mafia stuff right there. Especially if we're talking New York.
Well, mafia can exist anywhere, not just New York.
I know.
I mean, according to every television show, it's a cesspool of never-ending crime and horror, but I hear from people who live there, it's actually quite nice. And that a lot of that stuff that you see on television is, actually a television show.
Yeah.
There's a crime series about here on Cape Cod?
I believe it.
Most of the locals don't. It doesn't have the best ratings because a lot of locals are crying out against it, saying it's making Cape Cod look just like I described, a never-ending cesspool of crime and horror. But there it is.
Only really hyenas. That's not fair.
I don't want to say her name, but when she worked at the radio station that I used to work at there, she looked at, there were 2 windows in this one studio. One of them faced towards Main Street, and she said, "Oh, look over at Main Street." And then she pointed out the other window, and she said, "And look over there at Cracktown."
Yeah.
I was just stunned that she was referring to it that way. But, every city, and Hyannis is as close as a city as you get on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Every city has their good parts and bad parts.
Well, Falmouth, too. Falmouth is really sort of city-ish.
I was just thinking, years ago, like, oh, I could be a runner for the mob. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it means you run packages. And, now I hear the story from Robbie, "Here, Sonny, take this money and disappear for a while." It's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't do that sort of thing. Maybe I'm glad that opportunity was never presented to me. And this one flimsy opportunity that came to me, like, just drive me around. When we saw how that ended, just thinking of my poor car riddled with bullets and like the 2 of us handcuffed in a basement somewhere with a tiger circling us, or dangling above a vat of acid. Yeah.
Frosty, can you reach my utility belt?
That was literally the last time I ever saw Pete. It's like, no. We spoke a couple of times on the phone and things like that, and he moved away from the Cape, to which I can say, like, thank heavens, apparently Cape Cod is now much safer. The rest of New England I'm worried about now.
Yeah.
But blunt and simple, I always think back to that moment when I think about doing something stupid for cash. Just like, no. Let's choose life instead.
Let's not choose violence. Let's choose life.
Love, peace, happiness. Oh, there's a method to this madness. And the method is to don't choose the madness. Yeah, I think that's a safe statement.
Yeah. I usually say there's a madness to my method.
I mean, that more describes elder nerd than you.
Yeah.
That guy is
That's
awesome.
where I got it.
That guy is awesome, but, you know, I can sometimes sense when he's disapproving of me, like, several towns over. I can feel it now.
No.
I can sense it right now.
No.
Him listening to this, I can sense it now.
No.
Have mercy. Ah! Oh, man. I think that was poisonous.
Oh, Frosty, that looks bad.
I don't feel so good. I think this is the end.
Oh, Frosty, no. Is there anything I can do for you?
As a matter of fact, yes. I have the cable guy coming Monday. Could you please be at my house to let him in? Also, there's a slice of cheesecake in the fridge that's going to go bad. Finish it, would you? It was expensive, but turns out it's blueberry. I can't stand blueberry. When you're done, throw out the milk. It's expired by now, and I never got around to it. When you're in the kitchen, please make sure to check under the table. Sometimes the dogs leave scraps under there. Give it a quick dusting. Next Tuesday, I have a PT appointment. Could you let them know I'm not going to make it? Also, tell my guy hi for me, and make sure that everyone knows no one gets my stuff. I want it to all be buried with me. Then someone needs to make my last tuition payment for the semester. Could you get on that, will you?
Will there be anything else?
I've never particularly enjoyed your company.
Right back at you, buddy. Right back at you.
Warlock. With a pseudo-dragon curled on his shoulder, a young elf in golden robes smiles warmly, weaving a magical charm into his honeyed words and bending the palace sentinel to his will. Why does this book of D&D sound like it's the precursor to an erotic fiction novel?
We need to get you to play a game for once.
I'm sorry.
And you'll understand why.
That was from the player's handbook that I just happen to have here.
And
I carry it around in my backpack.
There's a reason why the memes say that the bard rolls to seduce the dragon.
I've never heard this meme.
You've never heard that meme?
Of course I've never heard this meme. I'm normal. Okay, not normal. I'm as far from that as possible. I am very freaking not normal and extremely nerdy.
The meme is the horny bard.
Oh, what? What the hell does that? Why? What? Huh? Okay. By the way, maybe Sunday? Maybe Saturday? I think I'm ready to take part in your big campaign.
Rock on.
I would be very happy to bring any of the characters that I have created or new ones that I decided just to arbitrarily make.
I will be happy to have you.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I have more fun creating stuff than actually doing it because it's been a while since my last campaign. I think that was last year, before I was hospitalized.
Yeah, it was.
It was right before I was hospitalized.
Very shortly before, yeah.
Oh, wow. So that... I can totally blame every single part of me not taking more part in the D&D community on, being in the hospital and having my life upended.
Sure.
I have an excuse for not doing this stuff. Speaking of upending things, Stranger Things Season 4, have you been watching?
No.
Start immediately. Oh my gosh, I have been having so much fun. We watched it, two of us watched it in 3 days because, we had work schedules and things, but we're like, we are not stopping till we get to the end. And the episodes were so long.
Yeah.
Not a single one was under an hour.
I heard that each one was almost like feature length in and of itself.
Now that I'm thinking of it, yeah. So that means that they're releasing the season in 2 parts. The first part was 7 episodes. I basically watched, 5, 6, 7 movies? No. Wow. I just want to give a shout out to everyone who is watching. Things we do not care about. Steve attempting to get laid. Lucas attempting to play basketball. 11 attempting to, not be antisocial. Things we care about. Murder, death, horror, fear, destruction, mayhem. That's what we care about. and we are getting it. I mean, some seasons you have to wade through these like treacly plot lines of them being normal people, and then in the background, supernatural stuff is slowly creeping towards them. Not this time around. It just comes and it freaking sucker punches you without any warning, and it's awesome. I hit myself in the head right now because I was so enthusiastic. I kind of just right into the headphone. Wow.
I kicked myself in the crotch once.
How in the hell did you manage that?
I don't know. This is a great story. I was playing soccer in high school, right?
Boy.
And I got the ball, and I'm running like the outside edge of the field, and this one bigger kid, and I mean bigger in like age, because he was a couple years older than me.
I know what the phrase "big kids" mean.
But he came running through. This was in high school. I was in high school. He came running up, like tried to sideswipe me. Like he slid into it like baseball slide. I jumped over him. Well, he tripped me. I jumped over him. I rolled forward, sprung up to my feet, kicked the ball to one of my teammates. And I'm just like, yeah, that was awesome. And then I go, ow. And I drop to my knees and just fall. I'm just like, I kicked myself in the crotch in that roll. It hurt so bad.
To quote Julia Stiles, I still maintain that he kicked himself in the crotch. Next time on Bourbon on Ice, help us, social media.
Dramatic much?
I feel we have established this, yes.
We turn to you, our loyal listeners, for help with a few online favors, now that we're more or less fully operational.
Not to mention, we talk the one thing that whiskey apparently loves more than anything. Memes. Tune in next time, and as always,
have a cold one on us. I love the memes. The only one who gets more love is my girlfriend.
Oh, please don't go there.
This podcast was recorded at and produced by Cape Media Center on Cape Cod, Massachusetts by podcasting duo Mike Whiskey and your friend Frosty. All music and sound credits go to soundstripe.com. Special thanks to Jamie Horton, Emily Tulloch, Gabrielle Rawson. For more information on Bourbon on Ice, visit our social media page at twitter.com/whiskeyfrosty. For more information on Cape Media Center, visit capemedia.org. For more listening options and a variety of podcasting entertainment, visit our hosts at buzzsprout.com and capemediacenter.org.